name is Donald and welcome to my session. So today we'll be focusing on sequences, or you can call them number patterns. First of all, we have to know what a sequence is. So a sequence is an enumerated collection of objects in which repetitions are allowed and order matters. Sequences are like sets. They contain terms. This number of terms are called the length of the sequence. So we have different type of sequences, but today we'll be focusing on only two. The first one is linear, or you can call it arithmetic sequence. Okay? So what is a linear or arithmetic sequence? A linear or arithmetic sequence is a sequence of numbers such that the difference between the consecutive terms is constant. So that means a sequence is linear, or we see that a sequence is linear if the first difference of that sequence is constant. Okay? A sequence is linear if the first difference of that sequence is constant. Okay? So this kind of sequence, linear or arithmetic sequence, they have this type of formula, which is Tn equals to A plus n minus 1 all multiplied by d, where our Tn is the general term. In the sequence, or of the sequence, or you can rather call it an nth term. Okay? And then our A is the first term of the sequence. That is our A. Okay? And then our N is the number of terms. Right? And then our D is that constant that we are talking about. Is the different, it's a constant different. So it's that same constant that we are finding after calculating our difference in the first difference. So it's a constant difference. Okay? For example, let us say we have been given this type of a sequence: 1, 3, 5, 7, and then the sequence goes on. And then the examiner tells you that this sequence is an arithmetic sequence. And then he will ask you a question: why is this sequence an arithmetic or a linear sequence? First of all, we are going to find what? Our difference. How do we calculate the difference? Okay, we are calculating the difference by saying term number. Okay, remember we have term number 1, term number 2, term number 3, term number 4, term number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, until to the nth time. So now for us to find the difference of these, we're going to say term number 2 minus term number 1. Our term number 2 minus term number 1 is 3 minus 1, which is 2. And then for us to find the difference between 5 and 3, we're going to say term number 3 minus term number 2, which is 5 minus 3. Just like that, 7 minus 5 is 2. I hope you get it now. So now we are confident that this sequence is a linear or arithmetic sequence because the first difference is constant. Okay? Now let us say maybe an examiner asks a question and say, calculate for us the general term of this sequence or the nth term of the sequence. What we are going to do, I've told you that this thing is a general term itself. So this thing is equals to a plus n minus 1 all multiplied by what? D. So I have told you that our A is the first term of the sequence. What is the first term of our sequence? Is 1. Okay? And then our n, it doesn't change because we are calculating the nth term. So an n, it remains the same. So we have n minus 1. What is our D? Our D is the constant, is that constant difference that we found in our first difference, which is what? Which is 2. So if we simplify this, we have 1 plus 2 multiplied by n is 2n. 2 multiplied by negative 1 is negative 2. And then if we group the like terms, we have 2n minus 1. This is our general term or the nth term. And then maybe a question will go on and say, calculate for us term number, we have term number 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe calculate for us term number 7. If a question comes and say, calculate for us term number 7, I've told you that n represents what? Number of terms. So if a question comes and say, calculate for us term number 7, wherever you see n, because n, it represents number of terms, you are going to put that 7. So we have Tn is equals to what? 2, and then where you see n, you are going to substitute what? 7, because we are calculating term number 7, or the 7th term, minus 1. And then 2 times 7 is 14. And then 14 minus 1 is what? Is 13. So that means our term number 7 is equals to 13. Let us move quickly and then do quadratic. So now we are in quadratic equation. Quadratic sequence, sequence. Not equation, I'm sorry. Sequence. What is a quadratic sequence? Quadratic sequence is a sequence of numbers in which the second difference, remember in linear we were speaking about the first difference, now we are speaking about the second difference between each consecutive term differ by the same amount, which is called a common what? Second difference. So meaning we will know that a sequence is a quadratic sequence if the second difference of that sequence or pattern is constant. No longer the first difference, but the second difference. Okay? So then, now, this type of sequence, it has this type of a formula, which is Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus what? Plus c. Okay? And then I told you that the Tn is what? Is general term or the nth term. It doesn't change. And then our A now is a different story. It's going to change. It's no longer that first term that I've been telling you about in the arithmetic sequence. Now we are dealing with quadratic. Our A, we are going to find our A from the special formula. Okay? So we are going to find our A from the special formula, which is 2 multiplied by A, or you can say 2A is equals to the the common second difference, that constant that we are going to find in our second difference. So our A is found from the common second difference common second difference of the sequence. Okay? And then now this B is going to be found from the special formula as well. 3A plus B is equals to the first term of the first difference of the sequence. The first term of the first what? Difference of the sequence, right? Okay, then now our C is going to be found from where? From this A plus B plus C, which is equals to the first term of the sequence. The first term of the sequence. Now it's a different story. It's no longer linear or arithmetic, it's now a quadratic. So that is why it's in this way. Let us say maybe, for example, an examiner gives us this type of a question, or yes, and then they say this is a sequence, and he tells us that this sequence is a quadratic sequence. Why is this sequence a quadratic sequence? Remember, a sequence is a quadratic sequence if the second difference of that sequence is constant. So let us check. They've told us already, we know what to do. Term number 1 is 0, term number 2 is 1, term number 3 is 4, term number 4 is 9. Just like the term number 5, 6, 7, we don't know it. So for us to find the first difference, remember, 1 minus 0 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. Okay? Now we are going to move to the second difference now. Okay? 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. Now we are confident that this is a quadratic difference because the second, quadratic sequence because the second difference is constant. Okay, now an examiner can come and say, calculate for us the nth term of the sequence, or the general term of the sequence, or the Tn. So our Tn is an squared, remember, plus bn plus c. Okay, in this case our a, this a that we are supposed to calculate is going to be found from 2a. So our 2a, I have told you that is the common second difference of the sequence. This is the common second difference of the sequence, which is 2. So you're just going to divide both sides by 2, and then your a is what? Is 1. You have already found your a. And then now let us move quickly and then check our b. Our b is found in this formula, 3a plus b, which is equals to the first term of the first difference of the sequence. What is the first term of the first difference of the sequence? Is 1 in this case. So 3a plus b is equals to 1. And then now our b, to be the subject of the formula, is equals to 1 minus 3a, because we take this 3a to that other side. And then now 1 minus 3 into 1. Remember our a is 1. And then our b, therefore b is equals to how much? Is equals to 1 minus 3, which is equals to minus 2. So, and then how do we find our c? I've told you that our c is found from the first, it's found from a plus b plus c, which is equals to the first term of our sequence. What is the first term of our sequence? It's 0 in this case. We have found our A is 1, our B is negative 2, our C is 0. And then we have 1 minus 2 plus C, which is 0. 1 minus 2, if we group like terms, is minus 1. So we have minus 1 plus C, which is 0. And then if we take this one into this other side of the equation, is going to change the sign to be 1. Therefore, our Tn is equals to how much? Is equals to 1n squared plus into our b is negative 2n plus our c is 1. Therefore, our Tn is n squared minus 2n plus 1. So I have done with you a question about a term number that a question can come and say, calculate for us term number 7. I've told you that this n, it represents number of terms. So I want you in this in the next equation to calculate for me, calculate the seventh term or term number 7 of this sequence. So this is your question to do. Remember, I've told you that number of terms, they are represented by n. So wherever you see n, you are going to put 7, and then here you have a formula, and then now we have to calculate for us this problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy for your attention, and this is the end of my session.